Welcome to the trading floor, focused learners. And by trading floor, I mean the high-stakes environment of your Cambridge computer science and IT exams. You see, when you sit down in that exam hall, you aren't just a student anymore. You are an investor. Your time is your capital, and you need to make split-second decisions to invest that time where the mark returns are the absolute highest. Today, we are mastering an explainer that spans across crucial syllabus codes, from 0417 and 0478 all the way up to 9618, and specifically IT 9626, section 15.3. We're talking about the work breakdown structure, timings, dependencies, and milestones. Historically, this is a topic where candidates hemorrhage marks. To show you why, let's look at two typical students facing a past paper question right now. First, we have Alex. Alex is a hard worker, but Alex overloads every answer with raw computer science facts. We're talking massive paragraphs of textbook definitions, but absolutely zero contextual analysis. Then we have Sam. Sam always rushes, completely missing the command word requirements. Evaluate, describe, explain. Sam treats them all exactly the same. When you look at their papers side by side, it is just a sea of red pen marks. We are going to fix that today. So, let's pose a critical question right out of the gate. Why do students find the distinction between key terminology in this section so incredibly hard? Why do Alex and Sam struggle so much? Under the intense ticking clock pressure of an exam, it is so easy for concepts like WBS, float, and milestones to just blur together into one giant panic attack. You might vaguely know what they mean, but Cambridge examiners aren't handing out marks for vague. The real challenge is that these aren't just isolated vocabulary words. They are deeply interconnected project management concepts. If you mix up a milestone with an endpoint, or if you confuse a task with a dependency, your entire project timeline analysis just collapses. And that is exactly where those precious marks slip away. If you look closely at Sam's paper, the command word was analyze, but Sam just listed features. 0 marks. Alex wrote an entire page defining what a task is, but never linked it to the scenario. Again, 0 marks. We need a strategy.
All right, here is our roadmap for today's session. This is how we turn those red marks into green check marks. First, we'll hit the core principles. Second, we're going to dive into the procedural framework. Third, I'll reveal some exclusive examiner warnings directly from the source. And finally, we'll tackle critical evaluation. We are going to move fast, so stay focused.
Section 1. Core Principles. Top-performing candidates don't just memorize definitions. They exhibit a connected, conceptual understanding. They decode the command words instantly. Are you being asked to state, describe, explain, or evaluate? Each of these computer science-specific assessment objectives requires a completely different approach. And the secret weapon that top students use to structure their answers, it's called the PEEL framework. Point, evidence, explanation, and link. You make your point, back it up with evidence from the data table, explain the technical computer science reasoning, and link it right back to the specific scenario in the question. This is how you stop being an Alex or Sam.
Let's look at the absolute foundation of section 15.3, the work breakdown structure, or WBS. By definition, it is the systematic breakdown of project activities and tasks. Think of it like taking a massive, overwhelmingly complex software development project and slicing it down into manageable, bite-sized, programmable pieces. Understanding this foundational jargon is step 1. It's how you access those higher cognitive domains of knowledge and application. Without a beautifully structured WBS, you cannot figure out your timings, and you certainly can't identify your dependencies. Before we continue, subscribe to our YouTube channel Ace the Exams at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon right now. Okay, back to the strategy. When Alex gets a question on WBS, he just writes out this exact definition. But if you apply the PEEL framework, you don't just define it. You explain how breaking down the tasks prevents the software team from missing their final deadline. Next up, we have float. Think of this as your project's breathing room. It's the amount of time a specific task can be delayed without causing a catastrophic domino effect that delays subsequent tasks or pushes back the final project endpoint. If a task has 0 float, it is sitting on the critical path. Any delay there means the whole project is late. Understanding float is absolutely critical for analyzing project timings. Now, let's do a quick interactive check. Imagine a 30-second timer on your screen right now. I want you to mentally spot which approach follows our PEEL framework. If a question asks to explain the impact of a 3-day delay on a task with 0 float, Alex writes, float is the time a task can be delayed. This task has no float. Sam writes, the project will be late. But a top-tier student writes, the 3-day delay will push back the final endpoint. Point. Because the task has 0 float, it is on the critical path. Evidence, explanation. meaning the new hospital system implementation will miss its launch date by exactly 3 days. Link. See the difference? That's how you secure maximum marks. Notice exactly how these pieces map out across time. On the day 1 marker, you establish your dependencies. Which tasks absolutely must be completed before another can even begin? For example, you can't run user acceptance testing before you've actually compiled the database. Then, by week 4, you assess your milestones. Milestones are those major checkpoints or phases completed. They aren't tasks themselves, but crucial markers of progress. Finally, by month 3, you reach your endpoints, the final deliverables. This logical, chronological flow from dependencies, straight through to milestones, and finally to endpoints is the exact conceptual framework examiners are begging to see on your paper. Before we leave these core principles and move into our transformation phase, I need to highlight a massive contrast: superficial breadth versus analytical depth. It is so incredibly tempting to just brain dump everything you know about project management onto the page. That's superficial breadth, and that's exactly what Alex does. But the academic benchmarks for Cambridge Computer Science require logical, structured reasoning. The assessment framework heavily prioritizes analytical depth. They don't want to brain dump effects. They want to see you deeply analyze a specific project scenario and justify your reasoning. We're about to see those red pen marks transform into green check marks. We are moving into the transformation phase, where we rewrite these answers live. Section 2, the procedural framework. This is where we introduce the computer science success blueprint. This is all about the method mark strategy, which is how you systematically put your knowledge onto the exam paper to salvage marks, even if your final mathematical calculation is slightly off. Let's break down the exact 5 steps you need to systemize your exam response. Imagine a 60-second visual timer right now for your first rewrite attempt. Step 1. Deconstruct the question. Decode that command word immediately. Step 2. Extract relevant data from the given scenario. Pull the exact numbers from the table. Step 3. Select your analytical framework. Are you calculating dependencies or timings? Step 4. Execute with clear notation. Show every single step of your working. Step 5. Present your final answer using correct IT terminology. When we apply this blueprint to Sam's rushed answers, the transformation is incredible. Suddenly, by slowing down for just 10 seconds to deconstruct the question, Sam starts hitting all the method marks. Follow this sequence every single time, and you guarantee you won't leave empty-handed. Now, nested deep within that procedural framework, you must master data interpretation. In 15.3, you are going to be faced with incredibly complex tables full of tasks, durations, and predecessor activities. You need to rapidly extract relationships from these texts and tables to draw solid, evidence-based conclusions. This isn't just a clever exam trick. This is the absolute core of practical application that builds your professional skills. When you look at that data, you aren't a student taking an exam. You are a lead project manager making split-second decisions on the trading floor. Welcome to Section 3 Examiner Warnings. This is the juicy stuff. This is the behind-the-scenes intel pulled directly from the principal examiner reports. Stop scrolling. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. We've helped thousands of students improve by 2-3 grade boundaries. Join them right now by subscribing to @acetheexams_IGCSE and turn on all notifications so you never miss our weekly exam strategy sessions. All right, let's get into the warnings. The examiners have officially highlighted that there are 3, yes, exactly 3, critical recurring mistakes that cause students to absolutely hemorrhage marks when dealing with WBS, float, and dependencies. As we go into our interactive workshop right now, I want you to mentally audit your own past paper answers. Let's do a quick data scan challenge. Imagine a complex chart on the screen with a 60-second countdown. You need to extract the core trend. Most students fail this because they fall into one of these 3 traps. Let's see what they are. Here is the examiner hit list. We'll call this challenge Find the Flaw. I'll read a flawed sentence. You spot why it loses marks. Mistake number 1, answers are often way too vague. If you write, the project will be delayed, you get 0. Why? Examiners want specific details. By how many days? Which specific milestone is impacted? Mistake number 2, forgetting to check format and presentation. If they ask for a chart or a specific table format, use it exactly as requested. And mistake number 3, this is the absolute biggest one, answers are not specific to the context given. Let's listen to exactly what the examiner has to say about this. Listen to this direct quote from the examiner's report, and let's turn this into our speed writing challenge. The classic mistake is providing generic answers not specific to the question context. Always link every point to the given scenario. I literally cannot emphasize this enough. If you have 30 seconds to write a perfect Peel paragraph about implementing a new hospital IT system, your answer absolutely must mention the hospital. If you just write out beautiful textbook definitions of float and milestones without applying it to the hospital's patient database, you will score 0 for application. The L in Peel stands for link. Always link back to the scenario. Finally, we have reached Section 4, Critical Evaluation. This targets the higher-order assessment objectives that unlock the absolute highest grade boundaries. This is where we finalized our complete computer science answering system. When the examiner asks you to evaluate or compare approaches, you must use this specific comparative framework. First, identify both similarities and differences. Second, structure your answer using comparative connectives, words like whereas, conversely, or similarly. Third, support every single comparison by justifying it with evidence from the scenario. And finally, conclude by stating the relative importance of your findings. This ties directly into the 3 rules that guarantee top marks. Rule 1 is command word decoding. Rule 2 is Peel framework application. And Rule 3 is the time management matrix. You don't spend 10 minutes on a 2-mark question, and you don't write 2 sentences for an 8-mark comparative analysis. Top-scoring candidates also show they can powerfully evaluate the quality of the evidence provided. How do you actually do that under pressure? By systematically executing these 4 steps. Identifying limitations in the project plan, spotting assumptions made by the project manager in the exam scenario, finding alternative interpretations of the task data, and ultimately assessing exactly how these factors impact the final conclusions. This is what true critical analysis looks like in information technology. It's not just taking the data at face value, it's interrogating it like an expert. So let's recap our standardized exam strategy sequence to ensure you never miss those easy method marks again. 1. Identify the key elements of the project. 2. Apply the relevant principles of 15.3 like float or dependencies. 3. Execute your analysis with clear step-by-step working. Show the math. 4. Verify your results. Does your newly calculated timeline actually make logical sense? And 5. Present your findings in the appropriate, specifically requested format. Systematic processing is your ultimate safety net under exam conditions. Here is a quick, actionable memory hack for you. The factors affecting 15.3 components, timings, dependencies, resources, can be a lot to juggle. I want you to take 5 minutes today to create your own personalized acronym for these factors. Make it funny, make it weird, make it something you will instantly recall when the exam timer starts ticking. Active creation builds the strongest memory pathways. Now listen closely. Students who implement these computer science strategies see an average improvement of 2 grade boundaries, but only if they practice consistently with our weekly videos. Here's your final reminder. Subscribe to our YouTube channel Ace the Exams at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Subscribe right now to at acetheexams_IGCSE and click that bell. Don't let another exam pass you by. And I want to leave you with this final provocative question to ask yourself the very next time you sit down to practice a past paper. Are you linking every single point to the scenario context, or are you just being an Alex and reciting facts? Remember the examiner's ultimate warning. Your knowledge of WBS, float, and milestones is literally only as good as your ability to apply it to the specific problem right in front of you. Drop a comment below with your target grade for computer science and the biggest challenge you're facing. Our team responds to every comment. Like and share this video with a study partner. Ace the Exams. Your Cambridge success starts here. Thank you so much for joining me for this session. Keep your learning structured, stay incredibly focused, and I'll see you next time as we continue to conquer the complexities of IT.